So in today's video, I will be showing you what the function of an electron is in the atom, how electrons were discovered, and who discovered the electron. So first, I'm going to show you a diagram that I sketch of an atom and all the parts of it. So these two blue circles that I'm drawing are protons, and they have a positive charge. Now these red circles I'm drawing are neutrons. And you could probably assume from the name, but they have a neutral charge, which means that they don't make the charge larger or smaller. And around that, there's orbits. And because protons have, or this atom has two protons, it needs to have two electrons to subsidize the charge. Because right now it would have a +2 charge because there's no electrons. But now, because there are some electrons, and electrons have a -1 charge, it'll subsidize that, and the charge of this atom would only be 0. So this is an electron. I apologize for my bad handwriting, and it has a negative charge. So this isn't a part of the electrons, but um, this atom right here is helium, if you were wondering, because it has two protons and the atomic number for helium is 2. So you could tell by that it is helium. So now let's go on to who discovered the electron. The electron was discovered by a man named J.J. Thomson. J.J. Thomson was a very well-known European scientist in the early 1900s, and what he's most famous for is the plum pudding model, which is a model of an atom that kind of looks like plum pudding, which is a European dessert. And why it was so revolutionary and he's so well known for it is because at the time, uh, many scientists didn't have a clear and full understanding of an atom. So this gave them, at the time, a very logical and reasonable explanation, model, and diagram of um, atoms, because it was a pretty new discovery that they barely knew anything about. Later on, many other scientists, such as Niels Bohr, went on to disprove this theory with the inclusion of such things as a nucleus, like shown here. But at the time, it was very revolutionary. But that is not what we're talking about. We are talking about his experiment, which is the cathode ray. So what the cathode ray consisted of was a large glass tube, and inside it had very low air pressure, and he would put very high voltage with it, and there's a cathode and an anode. Cathode is supposed to is meant for negative particles, while anodes are meant for positive particles. And then there's a vacuum pump. So when you put high voltage on the cathode ray, what ended up happening was you would be there would be a purple beam that shot through. And what J.J. Thomson realized was this was actually negatively charged particles called electrons, and that's what led him to uh, the plum pudding model having electrons inside. So that's all for today. And remember, this is positively charged, this is neutral, and this is